So for today's video, I am going to be doing a comparison video. I'm going to feature two products and I'm going to be using both, one on one side of my face and the other on the other side, so that we can see how they both function and compare them, obviously. So the first product I will be using is the Artis Oval 7 brush, and the second one is the Etude House face brush. At the end of the video, I will be going over details on these guys, like the prices and things like that, so that you can see what the difference is. And of course, I will be giving you my personal opinion on both of them and see which one is more worth the money. And I'm gonna start off with the Lorac Natural Performance Foundation, and this is in NP2. So I'm gonna start on the right side of my face, and I'm just gonna dot it all over. And now going in with the Oval 7 brush. And I'm gonna go over it one more time, just to get a little bit of extra coverage. You're supposed to use this brush by gliding it over your face so you don't pat it. But I might try patting a little bit to see if it works as well with that. Just a tiny bit. And now let's move on to our Etude House brush. And do the exact same thing on the other side, just with the other brush. Now this brush is a lot smaller than the Artis Oval 7. And when I went on the Artis website to see which one maybe this one compares to, or is like the closest to, from what I saw, I would have to say it'd be a mix between the Oval 6 and Oval 4. I noticed that there's no Oval 5 on at least the mirrored collection. If they had a mirrored collection Oval 5, I think this would be it, because it's not as small as the 4, I think, and it's not quite as big as the 6. So when I ordered this brush, I actually thought this was going to be this roughly around the same as this guy, but as you can see, it's not. I thought because this brush is smaller than the Oval 7 brush that I'm using, I was going to take a lot longer, not a lot longer, but I was going to take a little bit longer spreading the foundation all over my face, but it really isn't any more time consuming than the Oval 7. I think the good thing about this brush right here is that it'll be easier to get, you know, for my concealer, it'll be easier to get in the inner corner, like under the eye right here. I'm gonna use two concealers for this. I'm gonna first start with the Naked Skin Concealer by Urban Decay, and this one I'm going to be using on my rosacea just to try to get a little bit more coverage than what the foundation was able to give me. I'm just going to apply it directly on the red spots. And this time I'll start with my Etude House and just glide over it very lightly. I'm gonna try patting it, see how that works. Yeah, okay, no. So you definitely want to be gliding when you use this brush, because patting does not do the same thing at all. And now using the Artis brush. And to try these brushes out with as many different kinds of formulas as I can, different forms of these products as I can, I'm going to be using the concealer under my eyes. I'll be using the 3 Concept Eyes Duo Cover Concealer, and this is in a cream form. And it's kind of messy because I've used this so much. So I'm having a little bit more of a difficult time because it is a bigger brush, so getting right in here takes a little bit more time. I'm trying to apply this in little brush strokes because concealer is something that you usually want to pat. Patting with these brushes, I'm not getting like the desired result as you would if I was using the Beauty Blender or a sponge. So short strokes seem to be doing an okay job. For obvious reasons, applying my concealer under the eye, I had a much easier time using the Etude House brush because it's smaller, so I can get in here a lot more effortlessly. I'm gonna be going in with my High Beam highlighter. It's my favorite highlighter of all time. So let's just start. I'm gonna be doing this per section just because it dries fairly quickly. So let's see how this works with the liquid highlighter, because this is the first time I'm using this with my liquid highlighter, so I don't even know how to go about this. And with everything that I'm applying, I'm going in with a pretty light hand, especially right now. I'm like barely touching my face right now, but I don't know why. I'm just going really lightly on here. It's not blending perfectly. Right here you can see the edges. I don't know if you can on camera, but in person I can see the edges, and it's just not blending as well as if I were to tap it in with my finger. But no, it's getting a little better. Let's try the other brush. I feel like this brush is doing a bit of a better job blending in my liquid highlighter. And I'm just going to switch off with both. So first on the forehead, I'm going to be using the Artis brush. Try it again with the blending. My hair's in the way. I'm going a little bit more heavy-handed to see if maybe this will blend better. I still feel like I have to pat with my fingers in order to make it blend a bit better. I'm just gonna use this for my chin. I'm not gonna be using any more liquid products, so I'm gonna go in with a powder. So I'm just going to glide it over the product and then pat off the extra, which is quite a lot. It seems to be applying it pretty nicely. It doesn't look really heavy and cakey like I thought maybe it would. So that's a plus. I'm gonna do the same, tap off the excess, and then just start gliding lightly. And that's the powder put on both sides of my face using the two brushes. And I don't see much of a difference again with the brushes. What I'm gonna do next now is contour. And I'm not gonna go very far down. I think I'm gonna stop like right there. I think I'm gonna clean it off before I try to blend it as well. So, I know I'm having difficulty with this. Dude, that pimple is just... Because I don't really contour almost ever, I'm no expert when it comes to it. But what I like to do is, usually you can see like a little bit of a shadow, a natural shadow, right where your cheekbone is, right under it. So that's where like I start placing it, and then I go upwards a little bit. And then I don't go much further down than that, in case you were interested in how I go about this. And then now I blend it out. I'm gonna be going in with my Becca highlighter in Pearl. And just for kicks, I decided to go with an orange blush from ColourPop. This is in Get Laid, L-E-I-D. And yeah, hopefully it'll show through, because like I said, I don't usually get to play around with a lot of different fun colors with blush because of my rosacea, so we'll see how this all goes. So again, just brushing off the excess, or brushing off whatever product I had beforehand on my paper towel. And we're gonna once again start with the Artis brush. I'm just going to do that. And then my blush, I always start kind of the same with my contour. I just start from up where my ear is and then go downwards. So now I'm just going to apply mascara and a lip color. So I'm going to do that off camera since it doesn't require either of these brushes to do that. Now that my face is completely applied and done, I'm going to go over a few details about each brush, and I am also going to give you my personal opinion on both of them. So let's first start off with my opinion on how these performed. I think that both of these brushes performed very similar to one another. Despite the difference in size, I had no trouble applying my foundation with either of these. I thought that this one was going to be a little bit more convenient just because it is larger and it fits my face a little bit better, and this one's a little bit smaller, so it's not like it would be that much more time consuming, but I just thought that would take a little longer with this. But from what I experienced today, that is not the case at all. This one is a lot easier to get into the smaller parts of my face, and I like it better for the contouring and just anything where I need to apply in a smaller space. I like this one a lot better for obvious reasons. It's a better fit than this one. I had less trouble applying my blush with the Artis Oval 7 brush. I do feel like blending it out and just applying it overall was a bit easier and faster versus this one. I felt like I had to work at it just a little bit more, but it wasn't like this huge crazy difference. The liquid highlighter, the Benefit High Beam that I used, I had trouble blending it out completely with the Artis brush. So the edges of the highlighter, like around here and on the forehead around here, you can totally tell that it was not blended out, so I had to go in with my fingers and pat it in. But when I used the Etude brush, it just very seamlessly blended it out, so I didn't have to go in with my fingers to further blend. With everything else, I really didn't feel a whole lot of a difference. They both performed very similarly, in my opinion, and the way my makeup applied is very similar as well. And where is all this glitter coming from? This on its own costs $60, so it is not a cheap brush whatsoever, and that's without the shipping. The shipping for this is $7.95, and this does ship from the United States, I believe. I know that it's promoted as a multi-purpose brush, and it is a multi-purpose brush. I was able to use just about everything pretty perfectly with the exception of the liquid highlighter with this brush. This is not sold or promoted as a multi-purpose brush. On the website, it just said that it's for your foundation and that's it. But I wanted to try to use it as a multi-purpose brush to see how well it performed up against the Artis brush. The Etude House brush is in stock at the website, and it costs $16.80. And the shipping fee for international shipping, because this ships from Korea, is $8.77. So that already is a huge difference on the price for both of these. The cool thing about this brush is that it actually doesn't come with just this alone. It comes with a little sponge as well, this guy right here, and you can just take it off and then put on the bunch. You can put on the sponge if you want to use that instead for tapping in your foundation. So with all of that being said, which do I think is the better one? I personally would have to go with the Etude House. I think that this one performed pretty much like this one, and it did even better with the liquid product that I used especially. And it costs significantly less than the Artis brush. I'm still a big fan of this brush. I'm still going to use it, of course. I just, after having done this video, after applying my makeup with the exact same products with both of these brushes, I don't see much of a difference in how they both applied, and I think they both applied pretty well. So because the performance is very much on the same level, if not this one's a little bit better in my opinion, and then this one on top of that costs significantly less than this guy, I do think that this one is just so much more worth your money. That basically concludes my video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week.